Hello everyone, my name's Val Strong and I'm sure you're all wondering how Breakthrough evolved. As long as I can remember, animals have been a part of my life. My family always had cats and dogs and I learned to ride at the age of 3. My aunt and uncle lived on a farm and I spent all my childhood around their farm animals, looking after failing piglets, putting them next to the Aga to warm through and survive, and feeding the pet lambs, the orphaned lambs, watching calves be born. My whole life revolved around animals. Throughout my school days, my passion for animals continued. I went on to compete in working trials with my dogs and at county shows with my horses. Throughout the 1980s, I ran the first puppy socialisation class in South Yorkshire, and I continued to be involved in the rehabilitation and training of problem dogs and horses. I went on into a career as a medical scientist, and following on from that, my career, my hobby with animals became my career. I went on to establish a very busy behaviour practice and also helped to establish the charity known as Support Dogs. And I became the world leader in the training of dogs for people with epilepsy and other complex medical conditions. I've written a number of booklets on canine behaviour and training. I've authored several research papers, and I was very proud to be elected to the board of directors of Assistance Dogs UK and Assistance Dogs International. One thing when we are training dogs for complex medical conditions such as epilepsy, we have to realise that those dogs are never ever off duty. They're always with their owner, waiting to predict a significant episode or seizure. And one of the main things that I did within the Seizure Alert Dog programme was to ensure that the safety of the dog was not forgotten, in as much that we all need time off. And it is important to make sure that a dog working under those pressures does have time off. So we built into the training program that an owner should be properly supervised by somebody else, and the dog was able to go off, play in the park, do anything that allowed him or her just to be a dog. This needs a lot of careful introduction so that the dog does not become stressed at being parted from his or her owner, because obviously in these situations the dogs are very, very intensely bonded to their owner. So it needs very clear signalling that this is time off. Once the dog understands that this is a normal activity, and he is able to relieve all those stresses and strains and pressures of his working duties, it can ensure that the dog continues to work well and positively for several years, and there isn't a breakdown in his ability to respond to a serious seizure or episode. In 1998, I gained my MSc in companion animal behaviour counselling from the University of Southampton. And I studied, or my dissertation was studying the effects of amino acid content on canine behaviour and learning. And this precipitated the development of the serotonin enhancing diet, which is fondly known as Val's diet. Unfortunately, Val's diet in its original form was quite difficult for owners to implement into their daily routine. It was labour intensive, and it required a lot of planning. So I was enormously excited to get the offer from Oscar Pet Foods to develop Val's diet, the serotonin enhancing diet, into a complete dry dog food, which would enable owners to successfully use the principles of Val's diet without the labour intensity. Now, obviously, the diet was designed to reduce anxiety, to reduce stress, to enable a calm mood state, and to enhance learning. And this is where the confusion is when we talk about a serotonin enhancing diet, because it isn't just serotonin levels that we are raising. We are raising other key neurotransmitters in the brain that enable the dog to learn new responses. So it's very important to understand it is not purely serotonin that is involved in breakthrough. So where does breakthrough fit in the assistance dog industry? If a dog is very anxious, then obviously it should not be working as an assistance dog from a welfare point of view of the dog and for the reliability for the owner. However, probably the most stressful event that an assistance dog will go through is the initial placement, when he leaves the familiarity of his trainer and the environment within which he's being trained, and then is placed out with his potential partner. So in this case, we are looking at enhancing a dog's ability to remain focused and calm during that very specific situation, and for him to be receptive, much more receptive to learning those responses or transferring his skills and responses to another person. So breakthrough will have a significant use within the assistance dog industry for those dogs going through a placement procedure, and should possibly be used or introduced probably at least 3 weeks prior to placement, so that the neurotransmitters can reach their optimal levels to allow the dog to be in a position to cope with the stresses and strains of being placed out with a new partner. I hope that explains a few things, and I hope that you are able to listen to the question and answers, and if there's any more information that any of you would like, please just contact the helpline at Breakthrough. Many thanks.